Hello everyone! In this video, I'll be reacting to one of the early uploads from the YouTube channel, The Game Terrorists. They are amazing individuals and I'm a huge fan of their work. I hope that you will enjoy this video as well. Let's start this video. This video came out in 2014, so I think it's around 7 years ago.
Game theory.
Game theory!
Game theory.
Game theory!
Game theory. Game theory. Game theory. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory.
Hello! Just saying, the song in the front is amazing. It's the Batman reference from, yeah, quite an old reference. So yeah.
So, honest talk time. Even though I host a super cool show that takes awesome video game logic and applies math and science to it, at heart, I'm a nerd. A red-blooded American nerd. No, you didn't see that one coming. I've hidden the clues pretty well. Nerd pride! But for as nerdy as I am about math, science, television, film, history, ceramics, crystal stemware, and of course video games, one type of nerd that I'm not is a comic book nerd. Oh, sure, I've watched my fair share of Teen Titans, was at the edge of my seat during The Dark Knight more than once, and suffered through the entirety of Superman 64. The depth of my comic experience was limited to what Movie Bob told me on his escapist show, The Big Picture.
Comics are weird.
I was what you would call a comic book noob. I couldn't tell a Hal Jordan from a Hal Rudnick. But then I played Lego Batman 3. Now before you laugh at me for playing a Lego game, let me tell you that these things are like my guilty pleasure right alongside mobile games, Diet Coke, and the occasional dose of toddlers and tiaras. But the Lego games to me,
it's like a small, tiny little guilty pleasure.
Have always gotten a bad rap. Most people write them off as kids' games, but really, they're everything I love about games. Great puzzles, fun action and platforming, hilarious storylines. Seriously, these games are so well written. Playing through Lego Batman 3, I saw a lot of faces that I recognized, and a lot more that I didn't. Like a cow, and a guy that was half Batman, half Superman, and whatever this guy is. Which got me curious, and when I get curious, I get to researching. And what I found was that the DC characters you don't know are often cooler than the ones that you do. Let me explain. Take for instance that half Batman, half Superman guy.
Half Batman, half Superman guy. That's pretty interesting.
Clearly, this was something the Lego developers threw in as some bizarre fanfic Easter egg, right? Nope. Before there was Batman v Superman, there was Batman plus Superman, otherwise known as Composite Superman. And his story is just as weird as he looks. Meet Joseph Meach, a struggling diver who set up a water tank in Superman's hometown of Metropolis and planned to jump in as a PR stunt. Surprise, it was leaking, and Meach had to be saved at the last minute by Superman. To ensure the guy stopped jumping off a building, Supes also gave him a job as a janitor in his Superman museum, since, you know, even the Man of Steel needs some cheap day labor sometimes. Anyway, Meach was bitter about needing the assist, and being surrounded by Superman's winning smile and bulging pectorals wasn't helping. Sounds fairly normal so far, right? Yeah, well, throw that out the window. One night while janitorizing, a lightning bolt passed through an open window and struck a bunch of superhero statues, unleashing an energy blast that gave Meach all those heroes' abilities because of reasons. Now equipped with the power to shapeshift, this supervillain chose a costume that was probably better attuned to an indecisive cosplayer. Superman? Batman? How about both?
How about both? Whoa!
Then, using his telepathy, and yes, this guy had literally every power in the book, he figured out everyone's secret identities and threatened to expose them unless he was allowed to join their group. But Batman and Superman were totally like, "Nuh-uh, girlfriend, get your own face," causing Meech to suddenly rampage and totally kick the pants off these guys until he was defeated by the power of Deus Ex Machina. Sorry, I read that wrong. By the fact that his powers were only temporary. Guess you guys got lucky on that one, huh? Now, how is that for an origin story? None of this, oh, I'm super rich and my parents died and now I'm gonna go use my money to become a superhero. Ha! Lightning bolts and statuettes, my friends. Now,
Let's remember the fact that the strongest person, okay, the strongest in any fiction is Deus Machina. I mean, seriously, the Deus Ex. Never mind.
this might be a bit of a reach, but I wouldn't expect to see this guy show up in a DC cinematic universe anytime soon. And he's not the only bizarre Superman clone. I also stumbled across this guy in LEGO Batman 3, Cyborg Superman. What's cooler than the Man of Steel? The Man of Steel of Steel. Get it? Because he's a robot? Even though he's not really a robot, kinda. Here, this thing is Hank Henshaw, a scientist who took a space flight with his wife Terry, only to have the shuttle explode, getting everyone exposed to cosmic radiation. Because seriously, if you're a researcher in a space shuttle in a comic book, you know you're gonna be exposed to some sort of gamma ray cosmic kryptonite beam that's gonna give you some weird powers that you never asked for.
I never asked for this.
Yes, Adam, I know, I get it. Anyway, the radiation made his face melt and his wife almost disappear into another dimension because reasons. Superman helps Hank save his wife, but then Hank dies. Fortunately, Hank saved his consciousness in a computer mainframe, which allowed him to control technology and put himself into a robotic body. He gets so excited about this that he runs to go tell his wife the good news, and let's stop there to really think about why this is a bad idea. You're his wife Terry. You just survived a space shuttle exploding, getting exposed to radiation that was causing you to teleport into another dimension, and then lost your husband, who is now reborn as a robot. Worst week ever. So it should come as no surprise that seeing her Terminator-esque husband drove her insane and led her to jump out a window. Blah blah blah, Robo Henshaw gets Superman's powers, blames the Man of Steel for all his problems because apparently no one appreciates what this guy does for them, and then poses as him in the aftermath of the real Superman's death, which was a thing that happened once. Or twice. Or never mind. Robo Hank even gets the official seal of approval from the President of the United States, saying that he is indeed the true heir of Superman. Cyborg over here. No.
Wow.
Not that Cyborg. That's a different one. Cyborg Superman.
Cyborg Superman. Wow.
Goes a bit nutty, tries to destroy some cities, and is finally brought down by the power of Deus Ex Machina.
Again, told you again. I told you the most powerful is Deus Ex. Never mind.
Sorry, read it wrong again. A kryptonite blast that passes through another hero, killing him, but miraculously happens to restore the revived real Superman to his full power, because for once in his life, kryptonite doesn't hurt him. Game, set, match. Heroes 1, radiation poisoned scientist robot 0. But that's only scratching the surface of the lore I've learned from this game. How about the fact that Superman's original foe wasn't Lex Luthor, but a super genius monkey-looking guy named Ultra Humanite? Lex wasn't introduced until nearly a year later. Ultra Humanite was designed to be Superman's opposite. While Supes had superhuman strength, this guy had a crippled body from the waist down, but also possessed an incredibly advanced intellect. It's pretty cool. And speaking of super intelligent arch nemeses, me and my comic book noobness had never encountered Gorilla Grodd, the telepathic genius gorilla that fights the Flash. Because nothing says the antagonist of a super fast hero like a super smart ape monster. In fact,
until now I still got no idea why.
as I came to learn, animals have a really interesting role throughout the DC comic universe. There's Crypto, the super dog, but much cooler is Bat Cow. You heard that right, Bat Cow. A cow that was saved by Batman and Robin from the slaughterhouse. There's not much else to say about him, but just the concept of a cow on the Batman team with a deep gravelly moo that strikes fear into the hearts of criminals just makes me giggle.
Because I'm Bat Cow. Because I'm Batman. This is like, because I'm Bat Cow.
And while we just talked about Gorilla Grodd, apparently DC figured they hit the gold mine when they came up with the idea for hyper-intelligent primate characters, because there's not one, but two in this universe. By day, he's Bobo T. Chimpanzee, but by night, he's Detective Chimp, crime-solving monkey. Now let's pause right there. Technically, a chimp isn't a monkey, it's a great ape, but seriously, the joke worked better that way. Unpause. And here we thought Clark Kent's glasses were an absurd disguise. Is that Detective Chimp? No, it couldn't be. That monkey doesn't have a hat on. Now, you may be asking yourself how a chimp gets crime-fighting abilities, to which I reply, from a dog with crime-fighting abilities. Duh. Bobo started off as a circus act where he was trained to answer questions to make it look like he was solving mysteries. Then one day, Rex the super dog took him to the Fountain of Youth, yes, that Fountain of Youth, which granted him eternal life, obviously, and also the bonus ability to speak to all living creatures because reasons. And it's been revealed recently that he assists Batman in his cases by way of a chat room where they swap theories.
What? Someone that is able to help the best detective in the world, Batman, on crimes. What?
Crime theories. Thanks for watching. And if the thought of an internet-savvy, crime-solving chimp gets you excited, then you'll love Dexter the cat. Dexter was an adopted house cat who lived happily with his owner until the day a burglar broke into the apartment and murdered her. Yeah, that'll put a damper on the afternoon. The next day, when detectives arrived to investigate, Dexter was kicked out as they were worried he would contaminate the crime scene. This left Dexter homeless, forcing him to live on the streets until the day when two thugs decided to put him in a bag and throw him off the Brooklyn Bridge, hoping to watch him drown.
That's not good. That's really not good.
Worst week ever. But before he could hit the water, he's saved by the power of Deus Ex Machina.
Again, told you the DUX.
Sorry, read it wrong again. Man, I'm having a hard time keeping
No, so subtle jab at comic book logic.
logical consistency here. A Red Lantern power ring detects the rage in his heart, flies in, and turns him into Dex Star, a Red Lantern super cat powered by anger and determined to hunt down his adopted owner's murderer. Revenge of the Cat Lady! Beware his furballs of justice. Now, when I first read this story, I had two thoughts. Oh, that poor cutesy poo. And wait, there are red lanterns? I mean,
Is that help?
read this story, I had two thoughts. Oh,
Help! So cute. I also need help her.
oh, that poor cutesy poo. And wait, there are red lanterns? I mean, I knew that there were green and yellow, but red? And they accept cats into the Corps? Again, I admit my noob is showing. Well, it was news to me, but apparently there is literally a fabulous rainbow of lantern colors, with green being the most well-known, but also probably the least interesting of them. I'll walk through this quickly, but the colored lantern rings harness the different powers of what the comics call the emotional spectrum. Red for rage, orange for greed, yellow for fear, green for willpower, blue for hope, indigo compassion, and violet for love.
Other than that, there's still other different lantern cores. So you will get back to it later.
There's even black, powered by death, and white, fueled by, you guessed it, life. Now seriously, look at that list and name for me which one is the least exciting. Willpower, duh. It's like being a planeteer and having the power of heart. Sorry, Hal Jordan, but violet lanterns are way cooler, cause they're the Star Sapphires, a core formed by an immortal race of warrior women. Or better yet, the Black Lanterns, basically started by Black Hand, a regular Joe obsessed with death who gets himself an energy-absorbing weapon that allows him to fight on the level of a superhero. Since he's a little nutty, he goes off and kills his family and then commits suicide, but this earns him the first Black Power Ring, which has the power to reanimate the dead. This ushers in one of the most famous story arcs in comicdom, Blackest Night, where Black Hand goes around reviving a bunch of dead superheroes to fight on his zombie dream team in an attempt to resurrect Necron, the embodiment of death and ruler of the Dead Zone. In one of the earliest and most iconic moments from the series, Black Hand visits Batman's grave, long story, and goes all Hamlet on Bruce Wayne's skull. Alas, poor Batman. I knew him Booster Gold. He then uses Bruce Wayne's skull as basically a weapon for the whole rest of the story arc. I don't see Captain Willpower over there doing anything like that. And from Dex-Star to the Glamazons to Black Hand, where did I get exposed to all these fascinating and sometimes disturbing characters? Certainly not the movies. Lego Batman 3.
Oh, true. That's true. They will not show this kind of disturbing facts on the movies, correct? Hi. Wow, that's unbelievable. Oh my gosh.
And I think that's the point here. I said at the beginning of this episode that the guys you don't know from the DC universe are cooler than the ones that you do, and looking back at everything we just covered, I stand by that fact.
I'm pretty sure that the audience right now may not know about this interesting character as well. Some may be depressing, but they're interesting in their own rights.
Compare Superman, the perfect hero who doesn't have a mean bone in his body, at least when he's not snapping necks, to Composite Superman, the high diver turned janitor turned super villainous cosplayer. Or compare Batman, the brooding detective, to Bobo T. Chimp. Or even the always just Green Lanterns to the rage-fueled murder cat Dex-Star. I'll be the first to admit it, I always found comics interesting and I wanted to get into them, but I knew that there was this huge learning curve, complex stories, years of lore, retcons, everything. So I just skipped it. But I always thought the characters and their powers were fascinating. Fast forward a few years and now we're in an age where comics are everywhere. TV, movies, and of course, video games.
Endgame. Justice League. Snyder Cut.
But as they become more mainstream, it seems they're feeling a pressure to dilute their weirdness, embrace more realistic rules and characterizations so as not to scare off people. But that's the exact opposite of what made them so cool in the first place. Give me the bat cows and telepathic apes and robotic supermen of the world. We're ready for the weird. We're eager to see off-the-wall characters with unique personalities because they're comics. And while studios may not be ready to roll out the weird on a grand scale quite just yet, that's what I appreciated the most about Lego Batman 3. It gets it. It recognizes the tongue-in-cheek, overdramatic nature of this genre and runs with it, throwing every fan-favorite character against a wall and seeing what sticks. In short, this game introduced me to some of my new favorite superheroes and supervillains. Ones that I would have never discovered because the comics are so dense, and ones that I'll never see in the movies because they're so absurd. And it looks like now I've finally become the comic book nerd I was always destined to be. Not the comic nerd I deserved, but the comic nerd that I thought that I needed to deserve to have and hold. Batman Dark Knight. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to go and continue to try to wrap my head around Crisis on Infinite Earths. But hey, that's just a thing.
The Silver Age Batman. Yes, Robin, I become a human fish. Batman, you mean you can breathe the oxygen in the water but can't survive on the surface? Wait. What? What did I just read?
Theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Welcome back to the Super Amazing End Card Tournament.
Super Amazing End Card Tournament!
Where today it's a battle of the bizarre. Which of the characters we talked about today is the most interesting to you? Is it Composite Superman, Cyborg Superman, Detective Chimp, Dex-Star, Black Hand? Or maybe you already knew all these guys. Let me know in the comments if you actually learned something from this. All of this was news to me and I thought it was pretty cool, but who knows, maybe you're a comic super fan and are like, meh, old news. Cast your vote for the one you thought was the weirdest and who knows, maybe I'll send the results to DC and we'll get a Netflix series of that person or something. Who knows? I think Composite Superman is still my favorite.
That's awesome. I didn't know about all this though. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like this video, please consider to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And comment down below if you have anything to share for us. Thank you so much. The video that I just reacted to came from the YouTube channel The Game Terrorists. Their video is amazing. Their work is just awesome. Very fantastic. And remember, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching.